Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the ThermoWeb Decofoil Transfer Gel and how you can use it 3 different ways. So the first way I'll be doing is with a foil. This is the new Rainbow Shattered Glass foil. And I have the piece of foil here that you can see how it comes out. Then on this one, I'm going to be showing you I used a flock. You can see it's a lot matte and it has that fuzzy texture. And this was the piece here. And then on this final one, I just did a resist technique with some dye inks. So let me show you how to use the foil. So I have a background that I previously did using Distress Oxide inks, and it's great if one day you just feel like doing backgrounds and then you can use them later on for a different, you can add to them. And so I have these stencils. These are from the Crafters Workshop. They're 6x6 stencils. You can sort of decide where you want it to go. And even though my card isn't this big, I can just cut down the card later. My card's a 5x7. And then I'm going to take my purple tape, which is here. And this is purple tape from ThermoWeb. And it's a low tack tape, so it's great to tape your stencils down. Now, depending on what I'm doing, I don't always tape my stencils down, but I also use this sometimes to mask. So on some stencils, you don't want it all to be put onto your card. I can use this and just mask over an area. Now, they've also come out with these Stencil Pal, and you get 2 of these white pieces that you can use to put to cover your stencil. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And I have my transfer gel. Now my Stencil Pal has been used, so I just wipe it off a bit. So what I want to do is I take a palette knife and I just put some of the transfer gel along the bottom of my Stencil Pal, sort of like that. Then what I'm going to do is start at the bottom, sort of push that into my stencil. So in this case I need a little more, but you can see how easy it is to put that gel over the stencil. I find if you just use, say, a palette knife like I'm using to put the gel on, then you get a lot of marks, whereas this way you'll get a nice smoother application. There. It will also help clean off your stencil with not leaving too much behind. So there we go. And you can see that it is, the transfer gel is white. So what you want to do now is you put it aside and let it dry completely. And once it is completely dry, it'll be sort of clear. You should be able to see the glossy parts on this one. And that's where I put my gel. So you put this aside and you can leave it for like a few days. I did mine a couple days ago, and then I'm just going to use it today for transferring. So you don't have to use it in any hurry. Just let it dry until it's completely dry and clear before moving on to the next step. So first I'm going to show you the resist. So as I mentioned, it is clear and when it dries. And so you can see some of the inks through it. So if you use a dye ink such as Black Distress or any distress, what happens is the ink won't stick to that clear. So you can go over it I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but you can see that the bottom is getting darker, but nothing is sticking to the clear because the dye ink won't stick to that smooth surface. And if you did get a little bit of ink covering over, all you need to do is get a paper towel and just wipe off your clear areas if you want to polish it up a bit. And you can see a little bit came off there that had gotten on the clear. So that's the first one, is using it as a resist technique. But now we're going to get into the foiling. So I have this card here, and you can see here, you should be able to see the glossy part. And that's the part we're going to foil. There's 3 new foils that have come out. We have bronze, the rainbow shatter, and pink quartz. And it's the pink quartz, this one here, that I'm going to use for my card. I have a parchment little piece. So what I'm going to do, open up my card, put it in, and then put the foil over it. And I'm going to bring in my laminator. This is the Royal Sovereign laminator. I have it set to 5mm heat. And I am just going to let it run through. It will feed it through itself. You don't have to push or pull it. So it's made its way through the laminator. I'm going to take it out of my little pocket. And now it's time for the big reveal. Ooh, so pretty. And you can see here how it came off pretty perfectly. And now I have this beautiful foiled part on my card. Now the important thing is with the foil, when you place it on, remember the color side is up. Now that's important because now we're going to move to the flocking. So Thermoweb came out with a bunch of colors of flocking. You can see them here: blacks, purples, green, orange, yellow, white, pink, and blue. In the sample before, I used the pink. And in this one, I'm going to use the blue. And these can be die cut, they can be cut by hand, but of course, we're going to use them for transferring. So I have my card here, again with, you should be able to see there's some shine bit. Now when you do foiling though, you want to put when you do flocking, the flocking side goes down. So you want the flocking to your card. But you do it the same way. I put it into my little folder. And when you're using parchment folders, the other thing you also want to remember is if you get like a crease in here, you want to change out your parchment, because what will happen is that crease will transfer to your foil and you'll get a part that doesn't get foiled. So always make sure that your parchment is completely smooth, and once it gets used too much, then just transfer it out. So I'm bringing my laminator back. It's still on heat on 5 millimeters, and I'm going to put it through. And again, it'll just take its time going through. You don't push or pull it. Now, the other thing I want to mention is I'm using a watercolor card. so it's quite stiff. If you're using a thinner card, you may want to also put a shim in with your foiling and flocking. But because my card was so stiff, I didn't bother putting a shim in. So you may want to put like another piece of cardstock in it just to give you that extra. So now we're going to reveal our flocking. And I like to just carefully peel it away. And look how cool that is. So this is great because flocking, it's not quite opaque. You can still see some of the texture beneath it, but it is more opaque as well. And so you can add this cool design onto like busy backgrounds and that. So that is how you use flocking with the transfer gel. So let's just look at all what we did. So with our transfer gel, you can use it as a resist, where we just went over with the ink and then the color underneath popped through. We can do the foiling, and now you can do flocking, and it has that nice texture to it. So those are 3 ways that you can use the transfer gel by ThermoWeb. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time Videos on YouTube. In the meantime, here are a couple other videos you might be interested in watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.